Welcome to Here for All of It, the podcast where we talk about all of the things, the real stuff.
Where nothing is rehearsed or off limits and the best stories come with a home-cooked meal.
And maybe a Manhattan or two. We're your hosts, Tracy Spears
and Chef Shannon Smith.
Join us as we discuss all of the things that we've learned as we've moved about the world for the last 60 years. Whether it's the real, the raw, the funny, the mistakes.
Or the later in life love story.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're just glad you're here. Hey there, we're super excited to be with you today, wherever you are, on whatever Wednesday this is. And so here's the tee up. I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curve, but I know you're expecting it. So one of the hardest parts of doing podcasts is, what are we going to talk about? And so Deidre and our team, they said, we should talk about our life and what did we learn in the 20s. And is that what you're prepared, or 30s?
30s is what I'm prepared for.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can start there, but when you were downstairs getting ready for and all things, I thought it would be interesting if we went back by decade. So you can say no to this, but all I could think of is, what if we did elementary school, and then we did junior high, and then we did high school?
The things we learned?
Yeah, like what stands out to you? So I know.
I can do that.
Okay, I know this is putting you on the spot. But you have super funny stories about all of those things, as do I.
Right.
So you go first. So like, if we had to say, what was the thing, what, like 0 to 6th grade or whatever, like what step stands out to you? Does anything stand out?
Yes, a lot of things stand out. When I was in first grade, kindergarten, first grade, we had moved to Austin, Texas.
What?
From Oklahoma. Yeah, so
Do I know that?
Well, you do now.
I mean, like, how do I not know that?
I don't know. I lived in Austin for 2 years. My youngest sister was born there. And so I attended kindergarten and first grade.
I
loved first, what?
I just love I love learning about you from when we get on turn a camera on. It's awesome. Right.
We're 60 years old. We have a lot of stories.
It's true.
And I hope we are telling them forever.
I do too.
Over and over again.
Well, I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. But go back to the first grade. So.
Okay, so I loved first grade, and I don't remember my teacher's name, but I have kind of a traumatic story that has stuck in my head my whole entire life that happened in first grade. Oh, no. There was a girl in our class who smelled bad.
Oh.
And it was like a medication kind of smell. It wasn't body odor. It was some kind of, this is the truth. When I smell that smell, I am reminded of her.
I did not see this coming.
Yeah. So this is where the trauma for me goes. I was maybe at a slumber party with some other girls, and that was back when prank calling, you prank call.
What was your favorite go-to prank call? Is your refrigerator running? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
What were some of the other ones? Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You better let him out. That was apparently some tobacco. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Which I guess a lot of people did. And you're like, well, you better let him out. You did the refrigerator, but there were so many. Oh, my gosh.
There were a lot of prank call things that we did.
So the younger people are like, what are they talking about right now? But you used to be able to
we
call
had
somebody.
Landlines. Yeah. We, of course, did not have cell phones. And so we would get on the landline, and everybody would get, or not if you were with other people, and you would call, and they didn't have caller ID, so they didn't know who was calling.
That's
and
right.
It was a joke.
Did you ever get?
Sometimes it was mean.
Did you ever get on the call and hear other people, the party line?
Oh, for sure.
You did?
Yeah, party lines.
So let's just tell the audience for a minute about that. So I guess a lot of people in the neighborhood would be on the call. I can't really remember the context, but I just remember getting on sometimes, and someone would say, "You need to hang up until I'm finished," and I would hang up and be like, I can see my parents. I don't know who is talking to me. I remember being very confused.
I don't remember why that happened. But no, I remember it very well.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so back to the smelly person.
Yeah.
I guess.
So we called her house.
You did not.
And said something mean. I don't remember what it was. We said, "You smell."
Oh, no.
And we all giggled and hung up. And I have not forgiven myself.
Oh, well, I mean, that's
I felt badly ever since. And I remember when she came to school the next day,
horrified.
I was just I felt so bad, but I was not brave enough to tell her that I was part of that. So that's
Oh my gosh.
so if I learned something from that, yes, I did learn about meanness, because later on people were mean to me, but I thought that was just one of the meanest things that kids could do.
I was just gonna say, says the girl who is
I know.
like everybody is teasing you about the hemangioma on your face.
But it was peer pressure. It was my friends did it, and I don't remember all the details, but I may have been sitting in the background, not involved, and just participating. But I remember feeling terrible about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have, that might be the most surprise opening of any podcast you've ever. So I'll tell you what made me want you to talk about elementary school was I was thinking about my mom, because we always talk about my dad.
Right.
And we always talk about how, he said, and everybody knows it doesn't matter, you cannot work anyone else and all things. So, but my mom, I don't think I told this before, but my mom, and everybody does remember, if you follow us on TikTok, that my mom looks like Susan Sarandon, smoked like a chimney, kind of had this sexy, cool vibe, but, liked to take a lot of drugs. And, which is fine. It's no big deal. But here's the story, and I've told you this, and I know you've heard it before, but for the audience, so I come home from school. No, I come home from playing at my friend's.
Okay.
And just the setup is we live in the trailer park. Everybody knows that. So I'm in the trailer park, and most of my friends lived across the schoolyard. So I went to John Ross Elementary in Tulsa, and so you'd cross through. I'd ride my bike through the the pasture mostly,
right,
to get over to the brick and mortar houses. And so I came home one day, and I said to my mom, I said, gosh, how come some of my friends live in houses that don't have wheels? Because I was at that age, so that I was kind of curious about it, and she was waiting for it, because she immediately, I can remember like it was yesterday, she immediately said, "Oh, Tracy, I feel, well, the first thing she said was, "Oh, Tracy, you need to be grateful for the roof over your head and all the things." So she started shaming me for noticing the difference between the two. And then I do remember walking away, and then she kind of softened, and she said, "Come here, I have a secret to tell you." And I was like, okay. And she's like, "Can you keep a secret?" And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm keeping so many secrets right now." At 9. But I remember her saying that. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, listen, I mean, I feel really sorry for your friends that live in houses that don't have wheels." And I was like, "What? Why?" And she said, "Well, I mean, listen, they're stuck in that house. Like, they can never move. Like, if they, they'd have to leave their house. But with us, because we live in a house on wheels, we can go anywhere we want to go, and we can take everything. We can take our whole house and all the things in it. So we'll always be able to have our stuff." And she said, "All we've got to do is hook this trailer up to the car, and we can go anywhere we want to go." And then she said the thing that still resonates with me. She said, we had freedom. And I was like, yeah. And she said, "But listen, don't ever tell your brick and mortar friends that." And we called them brick and mortar friends for some reason. And I was like, okay, I'll never tell them. And so, and the joke is always, I never thought about the fact that a Ford Fairlane, which was the car that we had, could not pull a trailer. But that was the thing that I remember thinking, yeah, oh yeah, I mean, I have freedom. And when we moved into a brick and mortar house, finally, because my dad was given a job so I could play at the Ford Glass plant, so I could play softball on a different team and move into a different school district and all the things. And I think most people know this whole story, but this piece of it, they might not. And so when I walked in, we were unpacking all the boxes. And I walked in, my mom is sitting in the kitchen. And it was kind of a dining room kitchen. And
this is the new house.
This is the brick and mortar house.
Right. Okay.
I mean, she's super sad, as am I.
Oh.
Because we had to leave our house. And we lost our freedom.
Right.
And she's sitting there weeping. And I'm like, I know. I mean, this is just the worst day of our lives. So we've lost our freedom. And so I go in there, and did you ever have the peel and stick tile that you would
Yes.
put up on the walls, and it looked like it was mirrored, but it had kind of like veins in it? Did you ever have that?
Yes. I don't think we had it, but I had friends that had that.
Yeah. Did you, I mean, do you remember thinking it was the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. I remember walking in, and she's in front of that glass, you know, and it had all the squares on it. It was the worst, but it was, I don't know.
You know,
Oh,
but that during that time, that was the early 70s.
yes.
My mom was decorating the house was so important, and the style back then
Yeah.
was very cool. When at the
I
time,
mean, was it?
it was all the shag carpet. Did you have shag carpet?
100%. Yeah. Green. What was yours?
Well, that's another story
Oh,
about
all right.
shag carpet.
Okay,
But
all right.
yeah.
So let me finish this, and then we'll get to your shag carpet. So she's sitting at the table, with that glass behind her, crying, and I'm like, I know, and I go to console her, and I go, I know, or I mean, are you sad because we had to leave our house? And she said, oh, Tracy, like in that, kind of, oh, Tracy, I'm not crying because of that we left our house. She goes, I'm crying because I never thought we could afford a brick and mortar house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was so confused by that. I just remember thinking, okay, like, I didn't know what to do with that.
Did she grow up in a brick and mortar house?
I mean, the trailer was the first house that she ever owned. I think she rented, and I'm not sure the answer to that question, but I mean, they did always live in houses. I don't think my dad grew up in a trailer. I know that. Well, my dad grew up in an orphanage, but he lived in a trailer after my grandmother. Wow, we're going to take a lot. This is so unlike me. We're going down a rabbit hole. But my short version, my dad is put in an orphanage with his sister. My dad's mom, who put them there because she wanted to go find a man, and as the story goes, she couldn't find a man with 2 kids. So she goes and finds Gene and Grandpa Gene. And Grandpa Gene, at some point after they marry, finds out she has 2 kids. And he, as the story goes and finds my dad and Aunt Betty, in the orphanage and brings them home. So, and then I think they lived in a trailer. I can't remember that part of the story. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But what I remember about this, that whole idea of this, my mom crying and all the things, I have driven by that house recently because my dad still lives right around the corner from there. And I think my trailer was bigger. It's just super small.
That's amazing.
Small house. All right. So what about your shag carpet? What are you holding out on?
Well, after I finished first grade, we moved back to Moore, Oklahoma, and the house, I believe it was being built, so it was a new house.
Wow. Did you you had it built, or?
I don't remember that part. I don't
Okay.
think so. I think it was maybe a model home or something.
I see.
But my mom got to pick out all the new carpet, the wall colors, everything. So she got to kind of,
Was she good at that?
yes. Now, if you'll remember, her mother, Nina,
Yes.
was an artist, very colorful woman, meaning that when she painted in bright colors. Her home, the walls were painted turquoise. The
Nice.
furniture was painted bright orange and yellow. It was
Did
very
she paint it?
colorful. Yes, she painted everything.
She painted her furniture too, though.
Yes.
Okay.
And so my mom had she enjoyed bright colors too. So she had every room in that house different colored shag carpet.
Oh,
Every room.
how many different colors were there? I only
Well-
remember 2.
Yellow,
Yes, and green.
blue.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Her bedroom, hers and my dad's bedroom was red.
What?
Yes. But what I remember is when we got to the house, they had messed up. And they had to take out all the carpet and do it the way she had originally.
What do you mean they messed up? They
They
put like
it
red in the wrong room.
rooms. And I remember that in second grade. I remember, oh my gosh. I think I felt sorry for the carpet layers because they had to start over. But she was adamant about which room had which color.
Oh, I love this.
And she also had a yellow front door. We had a yellow front door in Austin also. That was a big thing for her, was a yellow door, and I'm not sure why.
Well, there's a reason. There's got to be.
There's probably a reason.
Are you into feng shui at all? Do you know what feng shui
I
is?
know what it is,
Okay.
and no, I'm not.
There's something about the color of your door and all the things.
I don't think that would have been her reason.
Okay.
She just liked a yellow door.
I see.
But then in a few years later, I was still in grades. This may go into middle school, so I'll
do it. No,
I'll
do
wait
it.
for that
I
story.
listen. I love that you in
This
on
is
a
all
prompt.
just
You're in
coming
this.
to me.
We have talked about it before, like briefly. We were in the car, so we're not totally acting like we didn't talk about it. But you were like, no, let's just. There's too many things that happened in my 30s, and I said, well, I might throw you a curve and ask you early. So you have thought a little bit about it, which I'm thrilled. Okay,
Well,
so you know that you want. So the next thing you want to talk about is what? Because I have one more.
the conversation pit.
Well, you got to just tell that.
I'll tell that real quickly.
Don't be quick. Just listen.
A couple of years after we moved into that house, my parents decided to build on to the back, and they wanted to build a big living space. And they wanted a conversation pit.
What does that mean?
Well, it's where it's underground or below the floor level.
Oh, those were so groovy.
Yes. So it was this big. That's what it was called, a conversation. So it was a living area built underneath.
So just for the audience, the floor is like the top of the couch.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So I remember it was so much fun during that construction because they laid it all out, and it was all concrete slab, and including the pit, and it had concrete stairs that went down. The benches, that was all bench all around in concrete, and each corner had concrete, which would be a table, the end table.
Right.
And then later it was all carpeted in yellow shag carpet. So the whole thing. And oh my gosh, we played in there. And my mom had this thing about tornadoes. She was very afraid of storms. And they had a storm cellar built in that room. So the door of the storm cellar was flush with the floor.
Sure.
And it was carpeted in the carpet. And you have to dig into that carpet to find the handle
loop
to pull up the door to the cellar. And we'd go down there, and as in my sister and I, we'd play down there. But I would start clubs. I was big into clubs. So
there's a lot of intel.
My friends who were lucky enough to be in the club got to come over, and we had our club meetings in the cellar. And then when we fight or have bicker, people would get kicked out of the club. And then we bring other people into the club. It was so bad. But it was also so much fun.
Well, I cannot believe that all of that has come to you. Like, I mean, you've been thinking about this.
I have not been thinking.
Yeah.
This all came to me today.
Okay, so here's what's going to be freaky for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a house a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
After my divorce. Everybody knows I was in the apartment, all things. I actually signed 2 contracts that I backed out of. The first contract I can't talk about because I still it doesn't matter. The second house that I signed had a conversation pit. It was built in the 70s.
Really?
And had this giant rock wall. And I walked in and I felt like I was in the 70s. And you walked, like the living area was off to the left, but straight ahead, it was exactly that. You would walk down the steps. It didn't have carpeted benches and everything. It had like pillows on there. But that was what I loved about the house.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I love that.
I have a friend, Lori Moore, down the street who has that in her current house. She loves it. And she calls it the Brady Bunch house because it's just so similar to back in the 70s during the Brady Bunch era.
Do you love that architecture in that era?
What do they call that? Is that?
Well, it's kind of mid-century modern now. I guess. I don't know.
I like parts of it. Some of it. Yeah.
You don't want to conversate. You don't want me to try to like cut a hole in the.
No.
All right.
No. But when I think about that house, I remember our kitchen table was wrought iron, and it was painted white. I think my mom painted it all white, and the seats were yellow vinyl.
Oh, I know exactly what you're
And when
talking
you sat on them, if you had on shorts or your nightgown, you stuck to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
There's
So
my
here's
elementary story.
Here's my other elementary story. Is I remember banging erasers. Did you ever have to go bang erasers?
Oh, yes, for the chalkboards.
Yes.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Was that I can't remember if it was a punishment or if
was
I
a chore.
wanted to.
I think it was a chore.
But I think I wanted to do it. But how much chalk do you think we inhaled?
Oh my gosh, I can still feel it in my nose just thinking about it.
So
and it was a punishment for a lot of people.
Okay. Well, I remember doing it a lot.
So for those of you that are younger, the black erasers that you would erase the chalkboard with, after a while they've absorbed a lot of chalk, and so you'd have to go out and you'd bang them together like this outside.
They can't see you. They're on the.
I think they can.
No, I mean the people that are listening can't see you.
Oh, that's true. Well, you'd bang them together.
Go YouTube.
And all the chalk would go into the air, and you'd breathe it, and it'd be getting your hair and everything else.
That's right.
That's how you cleaned erasers.
So what we did is we went out and banged them on the building. We did not bang them together, and we had I swear to God, it was the end of a mop. It was like one of those giant mops that had handles. And I just remember Mrs. Cleveland, who was a spitfire and about 4'8", because we were taller than she was. And she had a ruler that she would slap on her hand, on her own hand to get our attention. And which that reminds me of Mrs. Crowder. Mrs. Crowder was my art teacher. And if you weren't doing the loom right, because we would make our own scarves and hats and all things.
And pot holders, probably.
God's eyes.
Oh God, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't remember a pot holder, but I remember the popsicle sticks and the yarn.
Yes.
And why is it called the God's eye?
I don't know.
I know. Okay. Well, so anyway, Mrs. Cleveland and Mrs. Crowder would hit us on the ruler or on the hands with her ruler. But Mrs. Cleveland would send us outside with these giant mops, and we would just beat them until there was no. And she would come out there, and she would say, "I still see chalk."
Wow.
And we'd be like, "All right."
Yeah, I hated cleaning the art room.
You did.
Yeah. Paint, dried up paint on the desks. You had to scrub it off.
Okay, I have one more elementary school that just came to me. So Mr. Taylor was our principal. And so I was apparently on the school lunch program, but I didn't know. It doesn't matter. And so I remember I would, as I have discussed with you before, I would do the Memorex. I think we did it on a TikTok or whatever. So
we called it Xerox.
That was it.
Memorex.
No, it had to be. Xerox was the company.
Right, but we called it the Xerox machine.
Okay. This one, it looked like it had a big head crank.
Right, and the blue inky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was one of my things. But one day I was in there doing all things. And, I said goodbye and I went to my class and I was in speech. Did you have to take speech?
Yes.
Okay. I always wondered, did I have a lisp or something? Because I didn't remember everybody taking speech. So we had to take speech. And so Mr. Taylor came and he knocked on rapped on the window and he called Mrs. Scheffler out. And then they called me out. And then I was like, what? And this is going to surprise you. But we had a dishwasher in the trailer.
Okay.
Like I was the dishwasher normally because the dishwasher never worked. And so though we had it, it was a prop, like it very seldom worked. But for some reason, my mother started the dishwasher when she went to work that day.
Okay.
So Mr. Taylor said, now Tracy, here's what you've got to do. Your mom left the dishwasher running. And one of the problems is it never went off. It just ran.
Oh, okay.
It just ran and ran. So it never had an off thing.
How did he know?
Because my mother called the school and said, can you please send Tracy home because I left the dishwasher on. And so Mr. Taylor, he said, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to time you. And I need you to run home as fast as you can. I'm going to see how fast you can go. Can you run fast? And I was like, oh, can I run fast? I had to give me a challenge. And I remember running like my guts out to get there and like running and really fast and turning it on because I was so obedient.
Right.
You would have run home and then thought, and made yourself a little lunch. Would you?
That is true.
You would have like not gone back for an hour.
I would have played with my Barbie for a little while. And
yeah. No, not me. So I ran, and then I ran back, and I ran back in to get my time, and he wasn't even there. And then I was like, well, I wonder what my time is. And I like ran down the hall into the office where he was, and he said, oh, "You're already back. Okay, well." And then he gave me the time. I guess he thought I was going to be gone
That is
longer.
a great story.
Yeah, so that's the kind of
I
elementary.
thought of
school
one
was.
more.
Do it.
Picture day.
Oh gosh.
So picture day was the worst day of my whole school year because I hated getting my picture made.
You still hate getting your picture made.
It was worse back then.
Okay.
But the sixth graders were the oldest in the elementary school, and they got to, if you were chosen, you got to be the one who worked with the photographer and got to go get each class when it was their turn and walk them to the place where they got their picture made and then walk them back to class, which meant that you didn't have to go to school that day because you were working for the photographer. And I wanted that job so badly because I wanted to be in charge.
Oh, that's shocking.
And I got the job, and I was so excited. And I walked all these students, and one of the little boys threw up all over me, like just all over me.
Now, see, I could throw up just hearing that story. I can't take it.
I was traumatized. And I had to call my mom and get new clothes so I could finish my job. But that's what I remember.
Well, I've told you this about Brent. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry. Let's talk about me now.
Tell us your throw-up story.
So Brent, in sixth grade, in Mrs. Cleveland's class, jumped up and turned around for some reason and threw up his egg salad sandwich on the desk in front of me, and it kind of splattered on me. And I think that's why I won't eat eggs.
Yeah. So if any of you remember, or maybe we haven't talked about it on.
Who knows? Well, I can't keep up with this. But everybody has said, if you tell the same stories twice, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So,
well, Tracy hates eggs that she can see.
That's right.
And that's one of the first things you told me when we met, and I didn't understand it. But now I do. So egg salad is like the most horrifying thing. The smell, the way it looks, everything about it. So if someone threw it up on you, that must have been traumatic.
Oh, I mean, I can still see it. I can still see him. It was super traumatizing. Okay, so now I think what we should do is maybe just do a podcast for each of these because I have more things that I want to say about it. So do you have any more elementary?
Why don't we just do elementary?
Okay, so all right, so this is my other elementary, which, by the way, we talked about the bean chowder before somewhere, it doesn't matter. And you're going to make that bean chowder at some point. Do you remember that? Did you forget?
Right. I did forget.
Okay, good. So somebody, my guess is it's going to be the worst bean chowder we've
I don't
ever
think
had
so.
in
I
our
looked
life.
at the recipe. So
Really?
So that was your favorite school lunch.
Yes.
And we talked about that on a TikTok or a podcast. And someone found the recipe for Tulsa Public School bean chowder. I have it. I read it, and it actually looks very good.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So I am going to make that. I should have done that today.
Oh, that would have been fun. No, what you did today is going to be amazing. Listen, the food, I do remember there were times when, for whatever reason, I took my lunch. So I think that it was, like if I didn't have a lunch, then I could go and eat at the school, which was very, and then I have to go do the Memorex. But my mom did pack some of my lunch, and it was a can of pop. Mm-hmm. My mom put pop in my bottle, though, apparently. So, my dad to this day drinks a dozen or more Diet Cokes every day. And I never remember them not drinking anything but Tab. She loved Tab and loved Fresca. Mm-hmm. Did your mom drink Tab?
Some. My grandmother drank a lot of Tab. Nina drank a lot of Tab.
But I had a Bed Knobs and Broomsticks lunch pail.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. What was your...
Yeah, that was it. That's all I remember. But I remember the can would be wrapped in foil so it would stay cold, which didn't ever happen.
Same.
But
remember, my mother froze... Remember, okay,
no, I don't remember.
We talked about when on road trips, I think this was on a TikTok, when we did vacations, my mother would make ham and cheese sandwiches and freeze them.
Oh, that's right.
and then put them in the ice cooler in the van, and we would eat these sandwiches hoping they had thawed out, and oftentimes they weren't. But she did the same for our school lunches. She would freeze them, put them in the lunchbox, and then by lunchtime they were generally
Very good.
pretty thawed out. My lunchbox was Buffy from that show,
Family Affair.
Buffy and from Family Affair. I had the Buffy.
Oh, Mr. French. Mr. French. Remember
Yes.
that? I was like, I
I
wish
loved
Mr.
that
French would
show.
be home when I got home to make my lunch or to make me a snack.
Right.
Oh, because the dad, didn't the mom die? And the dad, is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
And then the dad had to hire Mr. French,
To take care of Buffy and Jody.
Buffy and
It was
Jody.
a great show back in the 70s.
What was the name? The Family Affair. Yeah,
Family
yeah,
Affair,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought of that since. That's
I haven't either.
that's.
You're bringing back great
Here's
memories.
the other one was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Uh-huh.
I had a lunch box. Must have. I mean, Dad must have had a lot of good runs, truck runs. My favorite also thing though about elementary school was the school supplies.
Oh, I loved that. Was the best, going shopping for school supplies.
Were you highly organized then?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
What was your organizational system? Do you remember?
Well, we had to have a pencil bag.
Right. What was
Yeah,
that
you
about?
had to have a pencil bag, and you had to have the number 2 pencils,
Yes.
and
And a little sharpener.
right, and a protractor. Remember?
And a compass.
That we never used.
Yeah, it had a
maybe.
compass.
Yeah.
The protractor.
The notebook paper, and it had there was a certain
Big Chief.
right Big Chief, but then when we went to the white, it couldn't be the wide. I mean, there was like
Oh, I don't.
they regulated how the distance between the lines.
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Laddie 2 pencil. Wasn't it called a Laddie 2? It was like a blue. If I remember, it was a blue pencil.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you said the number 2, but I just remember Laddie.
And then the
pencil.
folders. I
Oh,
loved
loved the
shopping
book.
for the folders.
Listen, here's the best part for me was making the book covers.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you do
Yeah.
that?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. If you were lucky enough to get a book, and I have a traumatic story about a book, but I'll tell you in a minute.
So explain that they check them out to you.
Yeah, like a textbook or whatever. So you had to take the book home, or you got to take the book home, and you had to bring it back in good condition, or your parents were going to be charged or something. I don't know.
Right.
But you would go home and you would take a brown paper sack, and you would cut it and tape it, and that you made your own book cover, and then you got to draw on it with crayons and all
Right.
things.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh,
love doing that.
that is so funny. Were you a big reader? Did you read a lot?
I did like reading. I love Nancy Drew.
Okay.
Read all the Nancy Drew books.
Okay.
When we were in 5th grade, kind of a rite of passage. Everyone looked forward to 5th grade. When her name was Miss Davis, she was the, I don't know, social studies teacher or something. She would, on the second semester, would read Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh. I mean, I just
So
can't
she'd
take
read it every day, and then when she finished, I can remember this. I was in 4th grade, and my best friend Diane was in 5th grade, and I went to get her when the school bell rang, and she came out of the classroom weeping.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was crying, and I'm like, "What happened? What happened?" She said, "We just finished the book," and I didn't know what happened. So the next year, of course, she read it to us. I remember how soothing it was to be read to. I loved being read to.
Okay.
That just came to me. But now, of course, I know why everyone was crying.
Well,
Did you read the book?
It was the last book I read until I went to college. Like, I mean, it was so traumatizing. Like, I just remember thinking, well, I'll never read another book. Like, why would I do it? Yeah, I mean, it was, I couldn't, I was inconsolable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I just couldn't believe
Yeah.
that somebody would be that mean in a book. And so I associated books with that. I mean, I read a few books that I had to read. Like, we had to read that book about for whatever reason, the FDA. You remember the book Upton Sinclair, which is a classic. I think it won a Nobel, or not, it won a Pulitzer, but about the meat processing plant or
Right,
something.
yes,
and all the things.
I do
We had to
remember
read
that
The
one.
Jungle. Maybe it's called The
Yes.
Jungle. And so that was the next book I read. I was like, what? Every time I read a book, it's like the worst. It's like the worst information ever. So until I read The Firm. When The Firm came out when I was in my 20s, and I know we're not talking about 20s, but that's when I thought, oh, I can be entertained by a book again.
Yeah.
But my first two memories were.
I have one other book memory.
Do it.
This was in middle school. We moved to Tuttle, Oklahoma. And that was in 7th grade. Sorry, I guess I'm segueing if that's
It's
okay.
all good. No, listen. I mean, I think we just go, and then our people will edit us and like cut it where it seems like it needs to be cut.
So there was a girl in our class who was, and this is what she said, I'm Pentecostal holiness, which meant she went to the Pentecostal holiness church. Okay. So she could only wear dresses, and she couldn't cut her hair. And she was, she couldn't play in PE, couldn't play any sports. And this is what she said. She said, because if Jesus comes back and we're playing sports, I won't get to go to heaven.
What are you talking about?
No, this is truth. And so during PE and any kind of sports, she would sit on the bleachers and read her books, her romance novels. This is where it gets... She was obsessed with romance novels.
Is this like the Harlequin?
Now, I'm guessing that she did not take these books home with her.
Clearly.
Yeah, like the Harlequin romance books. So during school, I remember we had to read that Fahrenheit book.
Yes.
And we read it out loud during class. So everyone took turns reading a page or whatever, and we went out of class. She was not allowed to read that book because it was so secular or something. And the school allowed that. They said, if that's against your religion, you don't have to read it. So she would sit there and read her romance novels.
That's amazing. I wonder where she is now.
I don't know. I've thought about it. Her name was Holly.
Don't say her last name.
I don't know her last. I can't remember it.
I want to know who the smelly girl was. I mean, I feel like you need to circle back on that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That was re-traumatizing.
Yeah.
So we didn't have, there were so many people that we could have made fun of, yet we were all also those people that could be made fun of. So I think that's why we didn't make fun of anybody. We all had our things, that we were all struggling with.
As most of you probably would agree, junior high was a tough time for most kids, I think.
I'm going to say I'm going to say high school was harder for me. What made your junior high hard?
Junior high, in 7th grade, I got braces, started my period, just all those awkward, had acne.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That all happened to me in high school.
I was boy crazy, like crazy.
That did not happen to me in high school.
And it was and girls were mean, and it was a tough. 7th and 8th grade were really hard for me.
Well, 7th grade for me was the first, I changed school districts, so I didn't know anybody. And so the school district that I was in, I kind of liked that I didn't know anybody, so I could be just kind of in the background. But I can't think of her name. June Dwyer, I believe, was my basketball coach. And I had never played basketball, so that was my first year to get to play basketball. So I remember being excited because I was playing something other than softball. And I was pretty good at it. So 7th grade was pretty easy. 8th grade is when I had a creepy coach. And so 8th and 9th grade was when, and I'm not going to bring this whole thing down, but she should have been arrested. And it went on until I went to college. And so for me, from 8th grade on, that played like a very dark cloud for me.
Sure.
So high school was really brutal for me because of that. And sports was the savior. So I don't have a lot. I have most of my stories about junior high and high school were me trying to please her. And, she was married to a man, and yet, it was awful. And someday I'll talk about that more in detail. But, as you know, those little buttons that get put in when you're a kid still show up today. And she should have been arrested. 100% should have been arrested.
Wow.
So, that took a dark turn. Maybe this isn't. See, if this is the beginning of another podcast, I bet that our team goes, let's not start here. Let's just let this roll.
Well,
Let's just finish through junior high, and then we'll do a hard stop, and we'll start with high school. Does that sound good?
sure.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the junior high piece. When you were in junior high and you were boy crazy, is that when there was like Sadie Hawkins dances and all the things, or were you not able to do stuff like that?
Well, I wasn't allowed to do dances, but we didn't have.
You couldn't dance at all.
No. So, but in junior high, in this little school, I mean, we didn't have. It was very small. There were probably 50 kids in the whole 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very very small school. Okay. I mean, this is when my parents decided to move us to the country, and we lived on this little ranch. And so I too started 7th grade not knowing anyone.
Okay.
But it was as hard as it was sometimes at school, just, with hormones and not mean girls, but, just drama.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time for me because of this new environment at home I had a horse. We lived on this.
Remarkable.
Yeah, we lived on this
What
big
was his name?
acre Star.
Okay.
And we had a big, huge barn, and I loved just this freedom. I could just go out and ride my horse, or I could go and sit in the barn and read books, or I could. I loved to mow and work outside.
Was it like the mower that you push and the blades go, or
Yes.
was it a?
Yes. Well, we had a riding mower also.
Oh, wow.
But I preferred pushing. But that's when I discovered how much I loved being outside. And I did have, I had loved getting a suntan. And I mean, it was.
You love the sun.
I do love the sun, but back then, that's when I started realizing, and I had a lot of self-image problem issues, with my face, and I was a little bit chubby, and I didn't feel attractive at all, and a lot of girls that age don't. But there was one thing I could control. I mean, I could have controlled my weight and I tried that too. I mean, I would starve and different things. And my mom put us on Weight Watchers when I was 12. I mean, so that I tried to control. But one thing I could was the color of my skin. And so I felt like if I had a suntan, I was prettier.
Well, I think that's true. Everybody's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
Yeah. And people would comment on oh, wow, you have a great tan. So I tried to always have a tan. And so when there were chores to be done on the ranch, I chose anything outside.
I see. I didn't mean that you're prettier with a tan. I just meant people in
I know.
general.
No, I know
Okay,
what you
good.
meant. So my sisters hated to sweat. They didn't want to be outside. And they would take vacuuming and dusting and laundry any day of the week, where I would take mowing, weed eating, weeding the garden, painting the fence.
This is making a lot of sense.
I
now.
wanted to do all of that. I wanted to do all of that. And I did. And I had a great tan.
That's, you still, though, try to build in some time to get.
I do. Well, it was an addiction.
Really?
It became an addiction.
But I think a lot of people in that era, I mean, the baby oil, the aluminum foil or whatever people were doing to throw the sun. Yeah, I think.
Oh, I did it all the time.
And now, isn't it funny? There was something on the news. It's been a couple of months ago now, or a month ago, but it was about kids that are doing the masks when they're like in 3rd grade now. Did you see it?
No, this is like 3 and 4-year-olds are doing. Or maybe not that young, like 9 and 10-year-olds are getting facials and all the skincare. I think that's a merchandising thing, but I mean, I think it's important to take care of your skin. But back then, it was not that big of an issue. My mother was very concerned about it because she had beautiful skin. And she would moisturize and do all the things to look as beautiful as she was. And she was very concerned about me being in the sun.
I'm
She
sure.
never was in the sun. And she would cut out articles out of the newspaper about skin cancer and premature wrinkles, and she would cut them out and leave them on my bed for me to read. And
Would you read them?
no, I didn't. I mean,
You
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not going to be me.
Yeah. That's so funny. My mom was, she didn't do that because I don't think she read very much, but she was definitely not reading newspapers, you know, but she was reading the National Enquirer. So, so she, you know, for when I think about what was her temperament then, she was a Merle Norman makeup artist. That was one of the jobs that she had. And I did tell them that, it doesn't matter. But she would, you know, have a lot of makeup on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, so there was no sun getting to her skin. And when she had her stroke a few years ago, and I remember they took her off life support. I'll never forget, I looked at her and I thought, I mean, she has amazing skin to this day. Like she really had, she took.
But so do you.
That's very kind. So when we had all that, it doesn't matter. I can't wear a lot of makeup. I'm just going to say I just can't wear a lot of makeup. That's all.
You don't need makeup though. You're just stunningly beautiful.
That's very sweet.
No, it's true.
Thank you.
When I was in 7th grade, I wasn't yet allowed to wear makeup. I wanted to wear makeup so badly. And so I would sneak makeup to school. And so I'd get to school early. This is in 7th grade. I'd go in the bathroom and I'd put on mascara, put on a little blush. And of course, I was always trying to cover my hemangioma, the birthmark on my face. And then I'd take it off and go home. Well, I think one day I forgot to take it off. And my mother, of course, saw it. And I thought I was going to be in trouble. And instead, she said, if you wanted to wear makeup, I wish you had come to me and I would have helped you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was very, very kind.
Oh.
Because she loved makeup also.
Okay.
And that's when I got to start wearing makeup.
Oh, wow.
But I wore a lot of makeup, especially in high school, because I was trying to cover, and I wore giant glasses. You know, I had to wear glasses, and I would find the biggest frames I could find to anything to cover my face. Anything.
It just breaks my heart.
Yeah. And so the suntan helped, you know, and the makeup, the glasses, the big hair, because like the bigger the hair, the smaller my face would be.
That is so funny. Mine, exactly the opposite. Zero makeup, and like not trying. You know, when you were talking earlier about school pictures, every school picture, and I have shown you this, I know, but like you know, everybody would be at the class, and I'll never forget that. You know, I would always show up and go, "Oh, it's picture day." Like, you know, for some reason there was no preparation at my house for picture day. And I was always in a t-shirt that was the t-shirt from John Ross Elementary, because that was, you know, my favorite shirt. So everybody else has like on their very nice buttoned up shirt, and I'm in the middle, and every one of them hair, you know, going everywhere in my, you've seen the pictures in my blue John Ross.
The class picture when you had to stand on the things. Yeah, there was Tracy right in the middle with her John Ross t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah, like every year. I was like, oh, it's picture day. I better wear my t-shirt. But like my mom never knew that it was happening for some reason, and was never mad about it. You know, for whatever reason. I've told you this, that my grandmother one time, who was hilarious, and she was one that would sneeze and say, "Oh shit!" Like I've never heard her sneeze that. And I went over to her house every Saturday, and she would take care of me. And I asked her, "Did I tell you about the cutting the bangs?"
No.
My dad, he would always my dad was just super handsome and super cool, and he would always push his hair off to the side. And I remember watching him, and I remember watching David Soul and Starsky and Hutch and all. They would, you know, I liked it when the guys would do that with their hair. So I really wanted my hair parted on the side. So I said to my grandma, I'd like to have my hair, and I explained to her what I wanted, and she goes, "Oh, I can make that easier." And she literally cut my hair like just like on the diagonal right here, like she cut it all. And so then she goes, "Now you don't even have to do that, it'll just look like that." And I was like, okay, that's great. Just remember, it was right before picture day. So yeah, that was one of the pictures where my mother evened it up, and I didn't have any bangs at all. So Yeah, so picture day was.
When did the perm start?
The perm started in 8th grade.
Yeah, that's about when mine started.
Yeah, they were, and they went until I went to college.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah, and that was, listen, I mean, that was the most horrifying and traumatizing.
It was.
Hated every bit of it. So
yeah, the smell, the fumes, the tight rollers, the time it took.
Oh, I'd just cry.
Oh, it was just awful.
Yeah, the smell.
What I do remember, maybe it was in high school, because we always did it up in my parents' bedroom. And we'd sit there and she would roll. But we would watch Dallas.
Was that on then?
I think so. Oh, it must have been, because I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Okay, now we're gonna end it, and we're gonna. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna. I think we should just keep going though. So the next one, we'll go to high school.
Okay.
Do you feel good?
I do.
This was a good right turn. All right. Well, listen. We'll do it again soon. But so will we. You'll have to go cook first, but you have something very special planned.
Do. And it's not related to this episode. So should you tell why I'm going to make this?
We could. Okay. You want to do it? Or we could change. No, we're going to do it. Okay. So I'm going to get a pot roast. And so when I know what is so hard about this is I'm telling the same story again, but thank you for all of you just saying, just tell it again. We don't care. So here's the story.
We can't remember. We're 60. We can't remember.
So, well, if we're going to keep doing TikToks, then people are going to have to be forgiving or we're going to have to never get on TikTok and just tell all of our shit on the podcast. So we're going to try to do both. So I go to my friends, Pam and Cheryl, and I had
after you were divorced.
Yes, I actually was divorced at this time. And I went out to their house. It was in the middle of the summer, and which was weird because they made a pot roast. It was on Sunday dinner, and they made my dinner often on Sundays. So, but for this was the first time that they invited me out, and so they had a roast, and they served it up. I remember walking in and smelling it and all the things, and I said, I was so excited to be there, and as they put it on my plate, I started crying. And they were like, "What's the matter?" And I said, "This is like love on a plate." And so, then I ate it, and I just hadn't had a home cooked meal in a while. And I don't know, it just, I longed for a Sunday dinner and all the things. And so then the joke was, they're like, "Well, I guess you're going to have to find a woman that can make you a pot roast." And so that was, so we put that in motion that day. And then I told a few other friends about it. And I had other friends, shout out Kathy Taylor, Cayenne came as and others that, and I have way more pot roast stories, but then they would be like, "Well, we'll make you a pot roast," because I kept telling that story. I've tried to, and they're like, "Well, until you find her, we'll help you out. We'll make a pot roast." And so then I start seeing you as chef, and I remember thinking, this is amazing. I hope she can make a pot roast.
Right.
So that's what.
And I have made you a pot roast. I waited about 2 months after you told that story. I kind of saved it.
You did.
And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how to make a pot roast.
Well, what you don't know is I had friends that would like, has she made you a pot roast yet? Because that was going to be,
right.
And you kind of said that too, that if I ever make you one, it'll mean something.
Right.
So anyway, so there you go. That's what we're going to go do now. Thanks for taking a little time, and let's segue over to the pot roast. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to go first with the drink this time because mine's super fast and super easy.
Okay.
And I'm going to be distracted by this amazing roast that you have going on. So it's going to be a Black Manhattan, one of my favorite drinks. My friend Carla introduced me to this. And within like 3 or 4 days, my friend Carol, I was in Atlanta with her, and she said, "Have you ever had a Black Manhattan?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So then, I started drinking them. So
what is it?
Here it is. It's very easy. I know. Have I not?
Well, we order them when we go out sometimes, but I never made one.
Okay. So it's you're supposed to use rye whiskey. You can use any kind of bourbon or whiskey.
Okay.
But I got this because you love it. So Shannon likes the Angel's Envy. It is, and you have to get, this is called Amaro Averna. And this is what the bottle looks like. So hopefully you can see that. And it's 2 to 1. That's literally the only thing that's in here. So
Because a normal Manhattan is made with the bourbon and vermouth.
a little bit of vermouth. So this Averna replaces the vermouth.
Okay.
And it's called a Black Manhattan because of the color and all the things. So I'm just going to do 2 to 1. So I'm going to do 2 of these.
Are you making 2?
I'm making 2, yes. 2.
That wasn't quite 2.
All right. I'm going to do 4. I can see where this is headed. I'm just going to do 4, and then I'll do 2 with the Black Manhattan. All right. So, and we just finished the podcast where you all saw we had a little glass of wine, but it was a little tiny glass of wine. So we normally would not follow a little tiny glass of wine.
Yeah, we have rules.
Yes.
We drink our Manhattan before wine.
Yes. And it's only one Manhattan, although I just made, this looks like a big old batch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to stir this up, and while I do that, would you please get the glasses? All right,
Yes.
Here we go. So these are the coupe glasses, and the coupe glasses, you need to freeze them because we love freezing them. And that's it. So this is so easy. So you're just going to pour it. You'll notice if you've been drinking Manhattans. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Penny and her partner that we saw that we and I forgot to tell you this when I got home. So I saw them today, and I was in the liquor store buying some other things, and Penny said, "Oh, so I mean that's not what you're supposed to buy for Manhattans." So I knew that we were friends. So it was super fun
Because she had seen you before. Because we talk about Manhattan.
Because we talk about Manhattans all the time.
Yeah.
And so, but you did not, you got a display. These are the Woodford bourbon
Our favorite cherries.
Yes. We should try to get a.
We should be endorsed by them.
We should be endorsed. We're not doing anything to monetize this thing. Like we should be getting sponsorships. Yeah. Although Elevated Craft, they're still getting a lot of love because they did send us something. So, all right, let's see if you like this.
Thank you.
All right, lay your lips on that. Tell me what you think.
Cheers.
Cheers. Notice the color. It's a Black Manhattan.
Mm. That's lovely.
I like it better than a regular Manhattan.
I love it.
Do you like it better?
It's really good, yes.
It's a little bit smoother. So for those of you that are, because we've had a lot of people say, "Ooh, I've never had a Manhattan until you all started." Yeah. And a couple of people have said, "Woo, they're strong. Try a Black Manhattan because it's a lot smoother." The Averna.
Well, the Angel's Envy helps too because that's good stuff.
But try the Averna. All right, so to you.
Okay.
Tell me what you've got going on.
So probably every.
Did I put bitters in there?
No.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Back to the drink. This is something you should not do.
I've got to come off my drama now.
All right. Sorry. I'm
so
sorry.
See if it tastes differently.
It does change it. This is orange bitters. You should do like a little bit of the regular bitters and then the orange bitters.
That's the importance of bitters.
Yes.
It's the salt and pepper of a cocktail. Yeah, that you can.
It does.
It does. It just elevates it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Back to you.
Okay. The pot roast. So everyone has a different recipe for pot roast. But there are a couple of things that are just super important in making one. First, you have to choose what cut of meat you're going to use for your roast.
Okay.
Second, the cut of meat you choose ideally is going to be, it has to be a really tough piece of meat that takes a long time to cook. You want a little fat in there, because that's going to help tenderize it and, of course, give it flavor. But my mother used to make pot roast before we go to church. And often it didn't cook long enough. So it was chewy. And so it wasn't until much later that I realized why hers was a little bit chewy. It hadn't cooked long enough. So low and slow is very important. I cooked mine at 325 degrees for about 4 hours. You could put it in at 300 or even 275 for 6 or 8 hours. You could put it in a crock pot.
There's no precision on that though.
No, it's just as long as you cook it a long time.
Okay.
Because that breaks down all that tough muscle and makes it just tear apart tender. So I prefer the shoulder roast, which is also called a chuck roast. That's my preferred cut for a pot roast. You could also.
I don't know what mine is. Is that mine?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
You could use a bottom round roast, but you could also use a brisket. You know, you could.
What's a brisket?
A brisket is it's
A
part
rib?
of the. No, it's I can't remember where it is on the cow,
all
but
right.
it's a tough. It's
Is it
one
a
of those that has to
flank?
be cooked a very long time.
Okay.
Anyway, I took my chuck roast. I put salt and pepper all over both sides, and a little olive oil, and then I seared it. That's super important to get this seared. So I already did that, so you didn't have to watch me. So this is the pot roast, or the the chuck roast, and I got a really nice crust on it on both sides, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does, it puts this, again, it puts a crust, it seals in that salt and pepper, and it adds flavor. And so I'm going to use my roasting pan. By the way, this is a 2-pound roast. The recipe that you're going to be given is for a 4-pound roast. So I cut the ingredients in half. This is a couple of onions that I just cut in little half moons. I'm going to put that in the bottom of the pan.
You're just touching onions without, doesn't it burn your eyes and all things?
No.
Okay, no.
This is going to be like the bed that the roast sits on, so all those juices are going to get in there and make those nice and caramelized. But it's also going to flavor the roast. My girl loves her carrots overcooked.
Yes.
She likes them overcooked.
I like them a little black, even.
Okay, so I've got these carrots. I'm going to put them in. They're going to be kind of part of the bed also. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there.
Those are beautiful carrots.
They are pretty carrots. I get those at Trader Joe's. They're already peeled, and I love this size.
I was just getting ready to say, you peeled
I
them
buy
so
these
perfectly.
all the time at Trader Joe's.
Nice.
Anyway, then I'm going to take, here's my roast. So this is what I do. I love this recipe. I take Dijon mustard, fresh garlic, not the stuff out of the jar, fresh garlic that's nice and chopped, and this is fresh thyme. You can use dried thyme. Here's the thing, when you're using dried herbs and you're trying to substitute for fresh herbs, you need to split it in half because those herbs have dehydrated and become very small. So if I was to say this is a tablespoon of fresh thyme, you would use half a tablespoon of dried thyme.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to stir this up, and I'm going to paint this on the outside of the roast. What it's going to do is it's going to develop this kind of crust. So my daughter came in the house today, and she said, "What does that smell? It smells like horseradish." And I said, "It's Dijon mustard on the roast." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're making the roast?" She was so excited. She loves roast. And so you just put that on the outside like that.
We should have told her to stay.
Yeah, well, I gave her some.
Good.
Because I've already made one to show you. So I'm going to take this roast. I'm just going to set it in there. And then I'm going to pour some water. You could use beef stock if you want to. But all that flavor is going to mix with the water and make a wonderful
Now, why would you not use beef stock? And why would you? What's the decision tree there?
So that's a great question. It's whatever mood I'm in. If I don't have any beef stock, water is enough because that water is going to turn into beef broth.
Right.
Because of all the stuff.
Okay.
If you want a little more intense flavor, you would use beef broth. Okay. And I love to use that better than bouillon in a jar.
Okay.
That you done.
What is BV?
I don't know.
Okay. And have you ever used red wine?
Yes. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody has their own recipe.
Okay.
You could elevate this for sure and put red wine. You could put
I
rosemary and all kinds of things. Well,
Okay.
I've done it differently before.
Okay.
This is the recipe that's on my website.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to use it. So you cover it and you, again, bake it at 325 for, I think I cooked this last one for about 4 hours. So I'm going to pull out the one that I made you earlier that you're getting for dinner.
The magic of TV. We are seeing how it all happens.
Yeah. So
okay, we moved.
Basically, you're getting 2 roasts now.
Can we take that to Bob?
Yes, we'll take some.
Should I put this in here to cook?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, so I'm gonna let you taste. Oh, here. So Tracy wanted some roasted potatoes. You do not put your potatoes in when you put the roast in because the potatoes cook for 4 or 5 hours, they're going to turn to mush.
Okay.
So the last hour of cooking,
You can't take that out.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'll go get you.
the last hour of cooking, you put in the potatoes, and I kind of put a little bit of salt on there, and then you have dinner right here in a pot. So this is you've got the overcooked carrots, caramelized onions, potatoes, and some roast.
Okay, I'm trying to find a plate. I mean, okay, here. How about this?
Okay.
So my mother, who didn't cook a lot, but she always called those gold potatoes.
They are gold potatoes.
Is that what it's
I
called?
love
Okay.
gold potatoes.
Okay.
They are not quite as flaky as the russet potatoes. They kind of hold their shape. They're not as waxy as red potatoes. Doesn't that look good?
Mm-hmm. And the carrots
And the carrots.
are done.
Your
to
overcooked
perfection.
carrots.
Wow, I mean,
There you go. You want to taste it?
I do. All right. All right.
It's hot.
It is hot. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very hot. That is so good.
Yeah, it really is. The mustard, can you taste the mustard? Yeah, it's very yummy. So there you go. That's how you make a pot roast dinner with a perfect Manhattan.
Love on a plate. Thank you so much. It's so good. All right. Love you, mean it. We'll do it again soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Here for All of It. We love sharing a little bit of our day with you, and we appreciate you sharing yours with us.
Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Share this with a friend and join our community because we want you here for all of it too.
Thank you so much for being with us. Love you, mean it.